So how do we fix this? More gun control? Better mental health monitoring? Or is there something else that we're just totally missing? Let me go to my A-list party panel. The new editor-in-chief of Campus Reform, Lawrence Jones, is back, along with former Green Beret and host of Hollywood Weapons, Terry Shepard, and columnist at The Week and The Daily Beast, and the producer of the Fifth Column podcast, Anthony Fisher. So, Anthony, I will start with you because I know you're weary, and I share your weariness. As a parent, it's a tough conversation to have. As someone who's pro-Second Amendment, I hear these flimsy solutions the people in Congress are putting forth that don't do anything. It just makes them feel busy so they can spend a moment moralizing. But I find that to be most insensitive of all.
Yes, I generally support the right for citizens to bear arms, and I also think that a great many on the right's focus on mental health is also overblown because there really isn't any, to our knowledge, there isn't any correlation between mental health and violence.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty much similar between the mentally healthy and the mentally ill as far as levels of violence. The one thing that I have noticed...
It's a specific kind of violence.
Sure.
And I think it's a specific kind of tendency that you see sort of across the board the people who are able to commit crimes like this. And that's what we have to pinpoint, and we have to target that sooner and figure that out before it becomes this.
My biggest issue is the targeting, the use of resources. If there is any FBI funds being used to go after pot dealers, those are funds that could be used to go after people who are borderline, the people that are posting promises to become mass shooters on YouTube comments. And every cent that's being used by ICE to go after non-violent, undocumented immigrants is cents that could be used to go after people who are already known to be making threats.
All right, so Terry, I know that you are a weapons expert and you have a very impressive military background. One of the things that everyone wants to go to a comfort blanket. Like they want something that makes them feel better.
It's already happening now.
And for a lot of people, and we had this conversation earlier on Outnumbered, is they want to ban AR-15s.
Right.
And, you know, someone said, well, why are AR-15s popular? I said, they're like the Toyota Camry of guns.
Yeah,
everyone knows them.
Yeah.
They're reliable. You basically know what you're getting. Should they be illegal?
No, they should. Well, I'm a Second Amendment guy too. You know that, what I've done for, you know what I do for a living. That was Quint from Jaws. You're welcome.
I got you.
Yeah, thanks.
Quint.
Yeah, so this guy's great. I'm not making light of this at all. This stuff kind of hurts because, you know, if you're a Special Forces guy, we go overseas to fight, so this kind of crap doesn't happen to our own people.
Yes.
You're right about this, too. There's some specious arguments that have been on either side about this, and that's got to get... I'm tired of hearing that. So an example on my side for the gun people, you know, well, you know, why don't we ban cars? Come on, man, that's dumb. That's a dumb argument because the car's not designed to kill someone. A gun is. On the left, who is a major, you know, obviously gun control, take them away kind of thing. They don't even know what they're talking about with guns. They don't understand them. They don't know anything about them. So I won't have a conversation with you if you don't know what you're talking about. The AR-15, though, here's something you know. It is based on, we use that platform, a similar platform in combat. Now, it's not an automatic weapon because an automatic weapon is you press a trigger and bullets come out of the end till you let go.
Everything that's not a revolver is a semi-automatic weapon.
Right, so semi-automatic weapon, those are everywhere. And that's a pistol, which, by the way, more of this stuff happens with pistols, you guys know that. And most of it are suicides, most of that.
Yes, that's true. When we talk about gun violence, suicides are wrapped into those
and that's another
numbers.
problem I have with the gun control people is like, listen, I actually am willing to talk to you. I'm willing to talk to anybody about this.
Yeah.
I am.
Because we don't want this to keep happening.
Right, because this is why I go to war, to not have this to happen to my people. So I'm willing to talk to you, but come on, man, you got to be honest with me on that side.
Yeah, but Kennedy, we've talked about the guns. We talk about mental health. Can we talk about following the evidence? Because this could have been prevented if we would have followed the evidence.
Yeah, okay, so when I was talking to Chris Swecker a few moments ago, he said, you know, they ran his name through the database, and it's like, that's it? Anyone who's talked to someone in law enforcement, you know that's pretty much the easiest thing you can do.
Right.
And if you've got a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old at the time who's talking about shooting up a school, like, that's a pretty serious red flag. If they went and found his social media footprint, which the kid was advertising, this was not secretive.
It took journalists about 10 minutes to find that.
Exactly right.
Parents knew, students knew. Students were making jokes about it. They were saying, oh, if there was ever a police shooting, he would be the guy to do it. Yeah. The teachers knew, the sheriff's department knew, and the FBI knew.
The school
I am so sick and
don't
tired.
want this guy on campus with a backpack.
Exactly.
He knew what would and be in that background.
Exactly. I'm so sick and tired of terrorist attacks happening, and the FBI say we were watching the people. I'm so sick and tired of school shootings and saying, oh, yeah, we were following that person, but we just didn't have enough evidence to prosecute. Do your job.
But we also know the tools that the FBI has, and
Of
this
course.
is what's so frustrating. We know all the different ways they can spy on
It's
people.
the FBI. They could. You said this before. You were saying this too. It's the FBI. They could crush our lives. They can get anybody if they really do.
They don't want to be accountable, though, Kennedy. The moment you start criticizing the FBI and law enforcement and holding them accountable, it becomes this, oh, you're anti-police. And it's not. Everybody else gets criticized for their job when they don't perform.
No, because I agree with Terry. The reason you go fight overseas is to keep that stuff from coming here. The reason people become cops is to protect their families and their communities.
On the homeland.
Yeah.
But this chasing a guy like this involves, getting your fingernails dirty. It involves boring work. It involves following him, keeping an eye on him.
That human intelligence.
Yeah, but it's less showy. You're not going to get promoted for stopping something.
Well, he was posting a lot of exciting things for them to use for a warrant. I mean, the guy was posting all types of stuff, following different groups on social media. Why didn't you partner with Facebook? Why didn't you say Instagram? Hey, I saw this on this account. Can you pull it? Can you give me some more information?
It was the bail bondsman.
It's lazy.
And we already know that those social media networks will hand over the information
Exactly.
like nothing. It doesn't take anything.
Yeah, it doesn't take a court order.
Nothing.
And
They'll
they
just
comply with
voluntarily
like
give it up.
90% of the voluntary exchanges when law enforcement goes to social media, like, hey, can we have this? Yep, here.
Yeah.
So it's not like, they're stonewalling and just protecting their users, because they really will hand over a vast majority of the requests they get from
We can talk about mental health and we can talk about guns at the end of the day, but if we can't have people do basic police work and catch these guys, then this conversation is null and void. They got to do the job.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe everyone has to come to the table.
Right.
And, we have to acknowledge, like, these things aren't working. This is bad. This keeps happening. And, in order to protect our own political interests, we're not really asking why.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the panel is smart, and they're returning a little bit later. However, coming up next, I'm going to speak to